Let's bring in the newly appointed U.S. Labor Secretary Lori Chavez-DeRemer to talk through some of this morning's numbers. Madam Secretary, it's great to have you. Thanks for the time.
Thank you for having me. It's a great day in America.
We're definitely watching government employment, federal, local, state. There's a sense that this might be still a Doge-free print. Do you agree?
Well, I can tell you where the focus is the efficiency and the streamlining. Where we did see some government growth was in local government. As maybe many know, I was a former mayor, so the closest to the people is where that growth happened in government. So we're seeing the efficiency happening here at the federal level and starting to streamline with the private sector.
Oh, Madam Secretary, I think this is a snapshot in time, and it's a good one. And I'm actually quite gratified because it could insulate us from what would happen. But do you think the stock market should play any role in the thought of anyone in the administration, or is it just an abstraction?
Well, I can tell you this. This is, we blew it out of the water. The expectations, 140,000, we're seeing 223,000 jobs to uplift the American men and women of this country. That has been the focus of the president. Certainly when we're talking about the market, it is a snapshot in time. And what I expect that this is not going to continue it to be stable. We're going to see growth for the American workers, and that is going to affect the market in a positive way.
Well, Madam Secretary, where exactly would the growth come if we are deciding that perhaps the Smoot-Hawley tariffs under Hoover are too low?
Well, we're seeing investments by many other businesses. We're seeing tens of billions, hundreds of billions of dollars being invested in this country. That is going to boost the American worker. What we have seen from the past administration over the last 4 years has hurt the American worker. I can tell you this, President Trump nominated me, I have been confirmed, and I will be on the road every single day to talk to those American workers because that's what we want to see. The president cares about this workforce more than any other president. He is the president of the American worker. I am aligned with him, and we are going to make those positive gains every single month. So that snapshot in time is going to continue to be positive every single month.
So you don't see a negative jobs print, say, this year?
Well, I can tell you this. Right now, what we're seeing was positive. We blew it out of the water. Even all the economists that looked at this thought we were going to have a depressed jobs report, and we didn't. So that's a testament to the president, the economic output that he is doing. Look at the Rose Garden that we had the other day. Who was in the audience? It was all the American workers. We had our Teamsters there. We had our United Auto Workers there. We're seeing those investments pay off, and I would expect that to continue.
We did have some negative revisions, of course, over the last couple of months. We also had these layoff numbers from Challenger yesterday, up 200% year on year, the highest since May of 2020. Would you expect that to get reflected in the coming months?
Well, I would imagine when we do these revisions, oftentimes that if there's revisions to be made, we should do them immediately. What we shouldn't do is something like the Biden administration, who held those revisions, and hundreds of thousands of jobs were lost. We're going to be focused on manufacturing. We're going to be focused on building in America. We're going to repatriate a lot of these companies back to the United States. I couldn't be more excited to get on the ground. We're going to start off this weekend in Pennsylvania on, the American worker. I'm going to meet them where they are. I want to see what the American worker's up to, and we're going to continue to influence them so that we build right here in America, and this economy is going to grow stronger and stronger every single day.
All right, Madam Secretary, can we just stop talking about President Biden? He was the old president. We don't need to mention him. It doesn't really pay us. It doesn't get us anywhere.
Yeah, let's talk about the new president. He's doing a great job.
That's what I'm saying. I'm going to agree with you. I also want to talk about the working person. I'm very concerned that the working person is the one who's going to be squeezed because the time between when you build a factory and we have workers and now is a big gap. So is there a course of action to make it so, like when NVIDIA said to the president, look, we'll make chips at Taiwan Semi now. If you give us a path, how about a path so that we can avoid what I think is the needless destruction of people's 401k and IRA, which did matter? What is the path of a company to go to the president and say, look, you know what? We're moving right now. Can that company be exempted from these kinds of tariffs?
As I move through this process, and I work with a lot of the other secretaries, Secretary of Commerce, Secretary of Energy, Deregulation has been top of mind when we have these conversations on the ground. I do want to be, really, when I think about it, manufacturing in a box. I want a landing team in some of these communities when these businesses are, being constructed and built, and that we have the job force that are skilled, upskilled, reskilled, and ready to go on the ground. That's one of the things, again, as a former mayor, oftentimes I heard from businesses who said, we don't have the workforce. My job here at the Department of Labor is to make sure that we're focused and that we're making sure that our workers in America are skilled to do these jobs on the spot and we can get ready to go. That is what the president wants. That's what I'm here to do, and I will advise him and assist him every single day on this issue and come back from that road trip and advise him, and I think he's going to do great. I mean, we are going to help these companies get to work today, because I hear what you're saying. We cannot wait 1 year, 2 years. We have to get started today.
The other thing that gets talked a lot about on our air, I mean, I'm sure you would agree, our country is so innovative, but what happens when that reshoring process collides with the innovation of automation and robotics, and how many bodies do you actually need in a modern-day factory that's based in the U.S.?
Well, the conversation that you're hearing on the Hill, the conversation you're hearing in Washington, D.C., is the same conversation. I want to go out and make sure that that's what they want on the ground. We hear about AI, we hear about automation, but the American workforce, that's what's important, and we want to protect the American workers. The mission of the Department of Labor is to protect the American worker, and that's first and foremost. When I talk to the president and I are aligned that he is the president for the American worker. I'll remind him of that every day. We are a great team together, and we're going to go out and get the job done.
Madam Secretary, can we just put an end to Nippon Steel buying U.S. steel? They dumped steel. They wrecked our steel industry. They, along with China, have done everything they can to wreck our steel industry. Is that what we should give? Is that we should let them have the property that is U.S. steel? Let's speak up for the worker right now.
That's right. We are going to speak up for the American worker, and so is the president. I have been on the ground right here in Washington, D.C. as a former congresswoman and as a mayor. I can tell you this. The president is in line with all of the American workers. We are not going to forget that. It is a change from the status quo. It's a change from the previous administration, and we're going to stay focused on that. I understand that we want to build our auto industry here.
Let's
Look
not
again
let
who was in the audience at the Rose Garden. That was the United Auto Workers.
Let's not let the people who lost their jobs be in vain because of what Nippon Steel and the Japanese steel companies did. Don't let it be in vain.
Well, I appreciate it. It won't be in vain. We're going to work hard every single day. The Department of Labor is here to stay, and we're going to protect those American workers.
Okay. Madam Secretary, thanks so much. Secretary Chavez-DeRemer, appreciate it on the heels of that jobs number this morning.